Black Gold, Texas tea. Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce and Guns, and today we're going to talk about oil. Now I use the Beverly Hillbillies reference because I'm actually currently standing within about an hour's drive from where the Beverly Hillbillies were supposed to be from. So first, what are the reasons why we want to use certain types of oil for firearms? You want to clean it, you want to lubricate it, and you want to protect it from the elements. Those are your three things. Most of us gun people automatically go to CLP, a cleaner, a lubricant, and a preservative, protectant, whatever you want to call it. And it comes in both a squeeze bottle where it's liquid form and of course aerosol as well. Now, this goes under my label of jack of all trades, master of none. It does clean, it does lubricate, it does protect. It doesn't do any of those extremely well, but it does all three of them pretty decently. So what are the alternatives to CLP or a CLP-like product? Well, that would be your actual bore solvent and a traditional gun oil. I have not found a better alternative to Hoppy's No. 9 solvent to clean, and the lubricant is just normal gun oil. There's nothing special about the Hoppy's No. 9 gun oil, but this right here, which I'm pretty sure is mostly kerosene, it's still something special about Hoppy's No. 9 solvent. Now, an extremely cheap way to go is just a synthetic, generic motor oil. I just picked up some SuperTech 5W20 from Walmart. I've been using this on and off for several years and still have most of the quart left because that's a lot of oil for a gun owner to use. And because it's meant for a car engine, it is great against stress, against shear strength, and it handles heat extremely well. Now, all of these oils will be fine on your normal range queen. Things you take out of the safe, take to the range, shoot a little bit, bring it back, clean it, put it up. All these will be fine. Now, if you're going to be in the slop, in the mud, in the wet, if you're going to be in a storm, it's going to be something you're going to take on a boat, going to be subjected to water a lot, I would suggest a grease. And it really doesn't matter, again, as long as it's just a good old molylithium synthetic grease, you're good. You know, that's going to be, and I've been using this a little bit. It's not, most of it's still there, of course, because again, you don't use that much. And this is great for your AK-47s. I'll show you that here in a little bit. But just a molylithium grease. This again is a Walmart SuperTech brand. If you really want to go uber crazy AR-15, you can get the Aeroshell 64/33. That works as well. And Hoppy's No. 9 actually makes a version of this. Now, one thing that all these oils and greases have in common is the fact that they are in some way, shape, or form a product of petroleum or petroleum-based substance. Now, if you watch YouTube videos, you're going to know that pretty much everyone recommends you wear gloves at all times when handling these, when cleaning your guns, when lubricating your guns, and so on and so forth. Well, I'm not going to tell you any differently. You should definitely wear gloves when you're dealing with all this stuff, especially on a daily basis. Now, unfortunately, that leads to a problem that you're also going to get this on your hands when you're shooting. But most of us don't wear gloves, especially gloves like these, while we're shooting. That would remind me of this scene from Naked Gun. Now, I'm not going to that extreme, and probably you won't either. But I do suggest just to minimize your exposure as best you can. That would be basically when you're dealing with firearms, touching them, cleaning them, lubricating them, whatever. Just keep your hands out of your eyes, nose, mouth, ears, all the good normal stuff you already know. Now, one good alternative to all these, especially to the CLP, but all these, that is a much safer alternative, which I've slowly kind of been replacing all these with, is good old-fashioned Ballistol. Because Ballistol is it's a cleaner, it's a lubricant, and it protects, just like CLP. Is it as good as CLP? It's pretty close. And this stuff is a mineral oil derivative. So it is not nearly as much of a problem as these petroleum distillants that you would have in these other products. And now let's take a look and see how you would apply these to your firearms. First of all, of course, let's just grab this upper over here. Let's just get all this out of the way here. There we go. And now we have a normal upper here. Go ahead and pull that out. Now, I'm not going to show you in great detail where you're supposed to lubricate. You should know that. Basically, if two pieces of metal rub together, put some lube on it. Not rocket surgery. Let's see what we're going to do here. Let's just go ahead and go with Ballistol, because again, this is probably the safest alternative to a lot of these other cleaners here, and lubricant and protectants. And I'm just going to go ahead and just coat everything here that's going to be rubbing. Now see, I just coated it all the way around. There's basically wear areas in the top and bottom, and you just want to make sure that those are hit with some lubricant. This cycles a little bit, just put some lubricant on that as well. Now I didn't have to clean it because I've not shot this yet. This is a 6.5 Grendel that I had just purchased and will not be, won't be firing it for a little bit. I don't have ammo for it yet, but I will be testing out soon, so keep an eye out for the channel for that. Now, if you didn't want to use Ballistol, you could have done the same procedure, just spray everything down with CLP. Again, not rocket surgery. And if you want to go with a traditional gun lubricant, Hobby's number 9 gun oil will be fine. They're all the same pretty much. I know, go ahead and put your complaint below in the comments section, but they're all pretty much the same. I don't care whose name is on it. And what if you wanted to use normal gun oil on a pistol versus an AR-15? Well, I've got a normal pistol right here. It is empty. Yes, disassemble it per the fire manufacturing directions. Take out the barrel and everything, and there we go. You got it field stripped. Got your gun oil. Again, not rocket surgery. There's going to be 2 rails, 1 rail on each side. You put a drop here. You put a drop there. Let's see. You might put a drop back here where the actual firing pin is. You set that up right there. That'll run down. And then put one on the actual, put a drop of oil back on the lug back here. And that will coincide with the actual lug in the frame. So that's going to tighten up right there, and it's good to have that lubricated up. Sometimes I'll feel, I'll get kind of antsy and put a little bit of oil on the actual rail on the frame. Probably not necessary. Now, there are some instructions with every firearm on exactly what you need to oil and how much. Follow those instructions. These are just basic guidelines. You're going to put oil on anything that moves or slides against each other. Again, not rocket surgery. Going to put everything back together. Going to put your recoil spring back in there. And you're going to put the slide onto the frame, on the frame rails. There we go. And that's got my actual Smith & Wesson shield completely lubricated and ready to be carried some more. If I was going to Alligator Alley and I needed this to protect myself, from the ninja alligators down there, then yeah, I would want something a little more substantial than Ballistol, than traditional gun oil, than anything else on here except for the grease. I would want to put grease on everything. And what I'll do is, again, every surface that slides across another surface that has to do with this bolt gets grease. I'm going to go ahead and use the cheap stuff because I like cheap stuff because I'm cheap. Okay, let's see if I can get this on camera here. So we got my greased up finger there, and all the flat surfaces there, all the rails that the bolt rides on, just put some grease on there. Just rub it on there. It's not a big deal. Just rub it all over the place. Of course, I'm doing this blind now because you guys have the best view. I can't even see what I'm doing. But I'm just going to rub some of this grease up and down the rails. Now, this is way too much. I know that. There we go. Go ahead and put the spring in there. Spring doesn't really need any oil on it, really, unless you're going to be in the jungle for a long time where rust is actually an issue. Then it might be an issue, but otherwise, not that big of a deal. Put your top cover down, and you do not have to slap your cover down to make it work. You can actually gently push it down like I just did, and you are fine. Let me just go ahead and clean it up just a little bit here. There we go. And that's done. And that is fully protected from rain, salt, snow, anything else that might get in there, mud, because it's grease, and grease isn't going to go anywhere for a very long time. Now, these oils and greases is basically what I have settled on after 20 to 25 years of competitive shooting. But I'm the first to confess that this is not the end-all be-all of all list of perfect lubricants for your firearm. This is what I've been using. So go ahead and leave in the comments what you use. I'd be interested to see what everyone else uses and be happy to try some and see what I think. Well guys, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and go up, subscribe. A lot more is on the way. And if you have any comments, questions, or show ideas, or any ideas for different greases, oils, or gun cleaners, go ahead and leave that in the comment box below the video. And of course, you guys have a great day. See ya!